So, welcome everyone to another podcast. Now we have Demi. Hello, welcome. How do you feel? First of all, why don't you tell us a bit about yourself, who you are, what's your role?
Okay. Hello, Demi. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to this podcast. I'm happy to be here. Thank you, Demi, for having me today. My name is Demi Ro. People used to call me Demi, so you guys can actually call me Demi. And I'm an AIESECers. I was an active member. I started in NLCs in Indonesia as marketing managers, I think at that time. And then I end my active member experience as the MCP of my second career. But now I'm still in AIESEC, working as the Global Finance Board Team Leader of Network and Communication. So, yeah.
Which is also my team, and that makes you my team leader. It's gonna be amazing. Yes, I was really excited until now to get to this podcast. So, um, from what I know, you didn't have any finance experience because before getting into GFB. So how did you decide to get into finance, into GFB? What inspired you?
Oh, wow. This is a very hard question, but it's really nice question because I wasn't the one who decided to go into finance at first, but it's just the external factors that forced me to learn finance. Because when I was an active member and I was the MCP of my second career, I have this like how to say it, not issues, but more like event where one of the MCs are not available anymore to continue the journey. So turns out she was MCPP finance, and then we don't have MCPP finance, and we don't have enough time to elect like the new one. And I don't think that like the other MCPPs are capable enough in a very short period of time of transitions to handle finance. So at that time, I was decided, okay, let's just handle finance because I am MCP. So I have like I don't have the background, but I was occupied with all of the capacity building coming from the regional office at the time and also the AI team, which is nice. And yeah, I mean, like, let's just give it a try. And then I managed finance directly for AIESEC in Korea at the time, like maybe for like a couple months, I think 6 months. And then after 6 months, during this period of time, while I'm handling finance, I'm also kind of onboarding and giving capacities to like my other MCs who I think will be capable to handle finance. So there are 2 person. So I was projecting them to handle finance in the second semester, but in the first semester where I am handling finance, I was just teaching them about all of the stuffs. And then yeah, I mean on the second semester, I'm not handling finance. But um all of the suddens as well at the end of like the second at the end of the first semester, I got an offer from a global finance board to join the management teams. I mean, like I wasn't even think of me being a part of like the global finance board, even in the finance department at the very first place I joined AIESEC. But then I get an offer. But at that time it was for the role of like handling the ICOM of global finance board, and I think that yeah, I mean like it's a lot of like benefits from me instead of like the cons itself because I can learn finance. I can actually implement what I learned from the GABs to my entities, and then I can actually give my skills, set skills to like what GAB needs, which is the handling to handle ICOM itself. So yeah, I mean that's the very first time I joined the GABs, and then after a year, I feel like oh, okay. I mean like it's quite fun learning finance because it's a very complicated things, but if you go dive into it, I feel like there are so much things that can be excites you when you learn new things. I mean, like some people says that, oh, finance are too repetitive, finance are too like boring or something like that. But I don't think that in AIESEC especially we create the whole finance things, and also the operationals that we have in finance is very much interesting, and we always strive to new things, to find new things. And yeah, I mean, that's how I enter and decide to go to finance as well until now. But I mean, like, it's not like I am really into finance now, because I mean, the current department is the network and communications department, but I'm still learning finance until now, and it's quite fun.
Nice, quite an unexpected turn of events in your AIESEC journey, and how like typically we can get into finance. But it's so inspiring the way you managed to and to manage to get into the sector, and how as MCP you had also to manage finance, because it's not easy when you don't have experience with it, or when you also have to manage a team, to have not to manage a team, to manage an entity. And when I was also thinking about how, like, okay, I'm a bit of an overthinker sometimes. And I was like, okay, we had some dropouts in our team as MC. If I take another sector, because I was financing MC, who who is going to manage? How is going to manage? I don't know really. So bravo for that. Yes, and I believe it's also, as I said before, difficult to get into when you're MCP, at least when you don't have experience. When you Yes. So how did that change your perspective in finance or in your AIESEC journey? How did that challenge you, let's say?
Mhm. I see. Interesting questions. Fun fact, I cried a lot. I cried a lot. I cried a lot during my MCP term because of finance rather than because of my MCP's job scope. Because like I have to handle the GFB submissions, I have to handle like the internal audit, external audits, and then the global membership checklist, which was done on the IPM and other stuffs like that, which most of the things was supposed to be handled by like a specific persons, which is MCBB finance, but then I had to handle that at a time. But yeah, I mean, um, with all of those struggles and flaws maybe that I have, I learned a lot. That's the main points of like my journey, I guess, while I am trying to handle finance. And how did that change my perspective, or change my AIESEC journey? I think it's pretty much obvious. No one actually expect that Demi will actually and his AIESEC journey as a financier. I mean, like as the global finance board team leader. So it was quite interesting. That's the things that literally and obviously changed the AIESEC journey path that I have. And then the perspective is more into how do you see this organization into different layers and levels? Because I mean, in the whole experience that I have in this organization, I was always handling like operations. It's either exchanges or like supporting functions like marketing or like BDS or external relations. So I never handled like TM or like talent management or finance before. And then this time, as I have a chance to go dive into the finance aspect of these organizations, I feel like okay, that's I mean there is the reasons why finance and talent management was being called as a management team, because they are actually the one who will manage the whole organizations, because this organization will not going to operate in the most effective ways if we don't have like any person in the finance and also talent management. So shout out for all of the HRs and also all of the financier across the world in this organization in AIESEC, because you guys are very much powerful in those organizations. And yeah, I mean, like in order to making it sustainable, yeah, I mean, we were established in like 1948 and we still here now. And I think one of the things that makes us sustains until now, getting through all of the crisis, getting through all of the things that might be collapsing our organization is because we have a very strong set skills that people in finance and also talent management have, especially in finance, because I mean, like we have this risk management and like all of the standards, and I think that that's a very powerful work that people should realize that actually they actually learn in this organization, even though they're still young. But yeah, that's my perspective that it has changed.
Yes, I agree, like 100% with you, what you said, and I believe that finance is one of the sectors that you say, if I, at least from my perspective, if you haven't been in finance or in PM or in one of those two, TM, however you call it, because some entities call it PM, you haven't seen all aspects of the organization. I'm not telling that because I'm finance, I haven't seen everything in this organization, but it's a very, very different perspective from the AIESEC bubble that we sometimes live in. And it's not only about bringing impact, it's about staying alive and staying alive in order to bring impact to this world and to like make fulfill of this organization. So yes, you said before that you learned a lot from this position. You learned a lot through finance and through GFB. How has this helped you in your life, in your work, in your everyday life, maybe?
A lot, actually. Ever since I became a global finance board manager, and also now as a team leader, I think that 2024 has been a very breakthrough year for my financial management, even in like my personal lives, because I was a very clumsy person in handling my money before because I like to buy everything that makes me happy. And then I like to buy like expensive stuffs and like I like to buy like something that's okay. I mean like it's not like a very primary things to buy, but then I just buy it. So I like to buy a very like sometimes a lot of things that I own was actually secondary things. But this year, it helps me a lot to identify on which directions that I want to use my money and like that I want to manage my financials in like my personal lives, which helps me a lot. I mean, like I use the tools that I learned in AIESEC, and also I use the mindset that I learned from like many people, my team leader, my teammates, even my team members. So everyone was actually giving me so much inspirations on like directly and also indirectly to manage like their personal lives in like the finance perspective. And then talking about work, it helps me a lot as well. I am now currently building an institutions, especially educational institutions, and like I mean, in AIESEC, I was always busy with the operations, supporting, and also the president role. But then I never handled finance before. So luckily, I have this experience in the GABs and also in my last role, which is MCP Basek in Korea. And I guess that if I was not able to learn finance in these organizations with the change in the MCP role and also the GABs, I would not be able to survive with all of the struggles that I have while I'm currently starting my own business because I feel like the core skills that a CEO should have is also a financial management because he needs to understand like the risk management. He needs to understand how to do the budgeting, the accounting, everything, the legalization stuff. Because even though he's not the one who actually handled that directly, but then he needs to be the one who understand the process, because he will be leading the whole institutions and like whole the whole organization. So if not, then it will be very hard for like the CEO itself. So I guess talking about my work, it helps me a lot. And I guess that, yeah, if I can take like one big momentum, I think this year is like my love, like this year is my favorite year, especially when it comes to learn about finance and like implementing it in like in real life, not like just in youth run organization. So I feel like, yeah, I mean, it's a very um how to say it, powerful impact that I get from learning finance.
Nice. So, how did you? Okay, let me rephrase. Before we said that we get into finance and we have some difficult times and we have some times that we say, okay, I really need to like drop it here right now because I just need to handle so much some points of our finance lives. So, do you believe, apart from that, do you believe that it's like easy or difficult to get into the finance or to not to just live with it and to really get into the sector and apply everything that you have learned in the first phase of getting into it?
Hmm. Well, it's difficult. I'm not gonna lie. I think like all of the peoples in this world will agree that handling finance will be a very hard things to do, because ever since we're not using gold anymore, we're using money right now, right? And since like I don't know which year, but then I guess since that time, money has become a very crucial things in our life, and then the one who actually managed that will have like so much benefits. And then because it's very difficult things, and uh it's also not just about the skills, but it's also about the mindset, and also how to say it, like the beliefs that you have. Because when you have money, and when you also like, for people who have money and also people who don't have money, they will have like a very different mindset. So I guess that and like for example, if you never have money and then you suddenly have like a lot of money, or even like the other way around, it will gives you so much things to handle. So I guess that that's like the most difficult one, how to manage that. But actually learning all of the theories and also the practicals knowledge, it's not that difficult, but it's more like, but the implementation in itself is the difficult one. So I guess, yeah, that's my opinion.
Yes, and as I came from a background that I have also never interacted with finance before I was LCVP finance, and
Mhm.
I'm not even studying finance. I'm not even studying finance in university. I studied political sciences, and it got. I was so interested into learning the sector and to learning how to do things in finance, and uh, sometimes the pressure of handling money and handling others people, not people's, organizations' money, has like had a pressure on me that okay, at some point it gets you, it has a physical toll on you, but it's so impactful. The things that you do are so impactful to the organization and to running the organization that you get pleasure from everything that other people do and you support them doing it. Um, so yes, I also believe it's difficult, but it gets easier and easier every time you do it, and it gets more and more rewarding from role to role if you just go to get higher roles in the organization.
Yeah,
Yes.
true.
So my last question for you is what would you say to people that are just starting their journey into finance and that maybe some of them have no other experience in finance?
Well, for those people who don't have any experience in finance before and wants to start learning finance, don't be afraid. It's going to be difficult, but those difficulties will create like a lot of new opportunities ahead waiting for you because I mean, yeah, it's difficult because every man in finance will always get a trust fund. So if you want to get a trust fund, then yeah, learn finance. It's a very crucial skills that will not going to be replaced by any artificial intelligence in the future because you should have like the mindset and also the how to say it like the projections of your minds on how you will see of your future by having like okay how much things that you have to spend or like how much monies do you have to spend for like achieving something and like other stuff related to financial management. It's a very important things to be there in the future and it's always need a manpower to like handle that. So I guess that it's a very promising skills to learn and role to have as well. So if you are an ISECers, really recommend for you to maybe if there is like any opportunities knocking your door, it's the time for you to accept that opportunity because it's now or never. I mean, just surprise yourself. I mean, I wasn't expected that I would be handling finance because I don't have like any finance background if in my educations or even in my AIESEC background. But then here I am as the team leader of a global finance board. So I guess that just surprise yourself and like make things that are not relevant for you becoming the most relevant things in your life. So yeah.
Nice. I totally agree with what you said, and it's all about decisions. Doesn't also like limit you into managing finance and managing money in finance. It's just learns you how to take decisions or how to take decisions of your own in your own life at the end of the day. That was it. Thank you for this interview. Thank you for your presence in our podcast. I hope you had an amazing time too, because I had. And
I do have an amazing time.
nice. I really enjoyed our conversation. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for joining our podcast and join our conversations too. Don't forget to click the button below to subscribe and follow our next videos. Thank you all for being here.
Okay, thank you, Demi, and thank you, everyone. Have a very wonderful day, weeks, year, and futures ahead. Bye.
Bye.